All right, in this episode, we talk about accuracy, precision, consistency,
and the mental approach to pitching accuracy.
All right, Brent Porcio, Stephen Godani, the @TopVelocity hashtag pitching tips show, where you go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and @TopVelocity hashtag pitching tips. You ask your question on anything here on pitching tips or anything we do at Top Velocity, and we answer it on the show. If you can, too, share this video, like it, put it out there for your friends or for others to see, because it really helps us keep it going, and we're enjoying keeping going, and we want to answer all your questions. Plus, get us more questions, guys, because that helps a lot too as well, because that's what the show is all about. So what's the question for today?
Steve Volk asks, my question is not about separation or force vectors, but about accuracy. How do you teach pitching accuracy?
Cool. A lot of guys get worried about when you go into some velocity program that you're going to lose accuracy. Now, understand that the only correlation to losing accuracy in any type of program is the fact that you're doing different things, you're trying new things. Because in having good mechanics, you have to be consistent, and consistency comes from a constant repetitive movement that you've done over and over and over and over again. So basically, I can be consistent and accurate with really bad mechanics because I've done them so many times. Even though my arm slot may be flying across my face, I know where it is when it needs to be released to the inside corner or when it needs to be released to the outside corner of the plate. But at the same time, too, it's going to be harder to be consistent or accurate when your arm path is coming away from the direction of the target. And if you look at the 3X approach, which is very much precision focused. Now, what's the difference between accuracy and precision? Accuracy just means, hey, I'm throwing it over there. So I'm putting it somewhere over there, and that's accurate. It's in this little box over there, the strike zone, somewhere in the box, that's accurate. Precise would be, I'm throwing it to the same location every single time. Yeah, maybe it's precise, but it's not in the strike zone, but I'm throwing it to the same place every single time. That's precise, but that's really what we need to be. We don't really need to be accurate, we need to be precise. Meaning, if I don't want to throw a strike today, or if I don't want to throw the strike this pitch, or every single time to this hitter, I'm going to keep it off the plate, I'm throwing it where I want it in that same location every time. That's precision. So when I talk about precision, that's what I'm really meaning. You know, it's in the same category as accuracy, but it's really more precise, right? It's more what we want, no pun intended. But in this approach, in 3X pitching, in our biomechanics, it's all precision focused, because the initial move is linear. So the initial move is through the hips and taking that building that linear move down the mound. Now that's going to dictate the force production or the direction of the force production. Even though we go into a transverse move or a rotational move into separation, we then try to then only use that to complement the linear move, which then we go back into the sagittal plane, which is the forward movement, the trunk tilts, and now everything is finishing to the target. So now when things are moving to the target, it's going to be easier for you to locate in that direction. So yes, this approach is precision focused. So you can understand coming into the 3X programs that you're going into a program, even though it's going to help generate more power, more ball speed down the mound, it's also going to take you more directionally to the target. So it should be easier to be accurate. But to get into precision and to really be able to put the ball where you want it, you're going to have to take this approach and then make it second nature, make it muscle memory, make it autonomous, make it consistent to where you can do it every time and you know exactly where I have to be to hit that inside corner low, inside corner high, outside corner low, outside corner high. So if you come into this program and you're not accurate or you're not precise, because you haven't done it enough. It's because you're too fresh in the program. It's not consistent. It's not second nature. It's not muscle memory. You haven't put in enough reps. You haven't put in enough time. And that's your responsibility, not the program's responsibility. And like I said, you can be accurate with any set of pitching mechanics. It really has to do with consistency if you want to be accurate. What's your question?
Good question, Steve. Another Steve with a V. So what I would say, like Brent's saying, you have to have good, consistent mechanics to really be able to repeat a motion and make a good throw, make a good accurate pitch. But another thing that I'd want to tap into, I think a lot of throwing strikes and hitting your spots, being accurate, being precise, like Brent's talking about, is a lot mental. I think it's a lot of I like looking into Greg Maddux about this. I think he's the the go-to guy for pitch location, which he should be for any pitcher. You should go online, go on YouTube, watch his interviews. He really talks about how in his first year, his mechanics weren't where they wanted to be, and he attributed that to like he didn't really have that great of a year. Then he shored up his mechanics, started having a better second year, and then it kind of came back again where he started struggling again. He kind of talked about more that this time he thought it was mental. So he went to a sports psychiatrist, and he kind of just helped him figure some stuff out in his head, and then he came up with a mental approach to pitching where he visualized before each pitch and told himself, hey, I'm going to throw a good low strike here. He simplified it, saw his target, saw him throw a good strike to where he wanted it to go, and then he executed. So I think that's huge for pitchers to just kind of have a mental game plan when they get up there, to see where you want to throw the ball, visualize yourself throwing it, take a deep breath, and then execute that pitch. And another thing I like to do when I was pitching, I would put my cap down to where I couldn't see the hitter. I would just be able to see my catcher's glove, and that really helped me focus in on the glove and be like, all right, that's where I want to hit it. And then I'd tell myself I'm going to throw a good low strike, and then I would paint.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Visualization has been proven to actually add more reps. So it's like doing a rep when you actually visualize the rep. So it's the same thing. It makes it more consistent because your body actually feels and been taught that it's done the rep more often, and therefore it can be more autonomous and not try to consciously control the movement. All right, so that was a great question. So if you have another question, or if you have a question, go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at TopVelocity, hashtag pitching tips. Ask your question, we answer it on the show. Also check out the 3X programs. Check out our camps that are coming up, our 3X Velocity camps coming up at TopVelocity.net. And we're looking forward to the next episode. So.